Hey, good morning, guys. I started my day of trading NVIDIA out of the gate this morning. We opened right here on the 8 EMA, and within the first couple minutes, it came back down with the candle. So I was buying on the 8 EMA, which continued to go right against me on the 5 minute. So I started with a small position, thinking we might get a responsive bid and a big time rally in NVIDIA, seeing that we have a little bit more relative strength in NVIDIA versus Friday on the 8 EMA. We also already broke on the pre-market. We had already pushed up above the Friday high print. So the two things told me that there's going to be some relative strength in NVIDIA. Hopefully, you know. But what happened was I always start small, and it went immediately against me and came down to the daily VPOC, which I tripled down there. And I also had a plan to double down my entire position down here on the yearly VPOC, given the relative news on NVIDIA. Uh, and I was watching the major indices, the NQ, to see if this was going to be if I wanted to do this final leg into the trade. But it worked out real well. I rolled it all the way back up with my plan to value area high, prior resistance from Friday, and I locked in a nice little profit on NVIDIA. It looks like right now that we are trying to push and roll over NVIDIA right here, right now. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. So that's just one. That was my one winning trade for the day. The reason I was being a little hesitant here, I didn't like what was going on here in the Qs selling off right here out of the gate this morning after having such a Friday. And we were really stalling out down here, but we were holding out above our um, VPOC line here. So just keep that in mind. We were holding on the bullish side despite the negative internals on the NQs, and we eventually managed to break to the upside. But the reason that we had mixed internals, see what was going on in the Russell? It was already opening below the VPOC, and they dumped it right into the open. And we're just finally getting back into our weekly value area low for the Russell. So we're seeing quite a bit of relative weakness in the Russell so far today. And with those mixed internals, I didn't really want to take long ranges on my long positions. So just keep that in mind. That's what I was looking at. And I had also pre-market right in opening minutes, and AMT. I'm sorry, American Tower. They caught an upgrade today, and I did try to fill down here, but my order didn't fill down here near the day lows. I was actually trying to fill at the 230.71 area, and it never did come down to my fill point on the daily webs. So I just chucked my buy order, and it seems to be holding out pretty good on the American Tower. Tesla, I also tried to catch today. Uh, One of my rules, I'm trying to stick with here. I'm really wanting to enter long positions um, at the daily VPOCs. Okay, I really don't want to be um, chasing trades to the upside. It's just I find I have better odds if I don't do that. So everybody's got their own way of doing things. I mean, knowing that we were breaking out to all-time new highs, that may be different. But also keep in mind, Tesla's got the highest valuation right now of any automobile company in history. So that's something you always have to keep in the back of your mind that, yeah, it's a technology stock, so it's going to get multiples that, in theory, are better than what's been done in the past. But that is something to always keep in your back burner of your head because, I would not be surprised to see this completely roll over before the end of the day out on Tesla. So just keep that on your radar. So far, we're building out a really nice high base on Tesla for continuation. So we'll see what happens. The next trade I took was Facebook to the downside. I thought we were going to be coming back down to the 218 area today on Facebook. So I actually leaped in while we were still above the 8 EMA on Facebook thinking we were going to get a response to sell. And to be perfectly honest, that we've got such a compressed value area, and the value Friday, despite a bad market, was put near the high of the day. So this is really not a very bearish chart, okay? But yeah, back here, I was trying to get Tesla to the downside, thinking that the relative weakness in the Qs was not going to support higher prices in Facebook today, given that there wasn't any type of news flow to speak of, and it looks like we got a pipe top right now here on Facebook, and it's preparing to roll over as we speak. So just keep that in mind on Facebook. Also on that Facebook, I just chucked it for break even, and pretty much Twilio I did the same thing. Basically, I saw volumes spiking in Twilio here, and I had higher upside for the Twilio. Yeah, I figured it was going to tag the. It was going to try to make a run for 120 today on Twilio, which so far it hasn't done that. But that's just something we're in this gap area. We had kind of pushed out above this, so it looked like it was a high odds that Twilio was going to make a 120 run today. So I actually added later in the morning session, thinking we were going to get a run, and it's pretty much stalled out here. And I don't really like ever chasing a stock. See, look what it's done here. We're even pushing out away from our weekly VPOC. So as a general rule, I'm trying to get as close as I can to the volume point of controls before I enter a long position or value area low. Those are the two areas that I would want to be at to enter long positions. If we come down to the value area low type thing, we don't want to be coming up to the value area low and then go. But just the way you trade your market webs and some ideas. Basically, I'm done for the day. I made some buck. I made my week's wages already this morning, so I'm fine. So I'm calling it quits. There's a time to call her quits, and I do not like these market internals. I'm sorry, and when you have internals like this, you're asking to get chopped to death, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind. Look at these NQs. I would not be surprised to see us breaking the VPOC on the NQs today, especially after Friday's price action. So I do think that Friday really spooked some investors, and you're going to start seeing some weak hands here in the markets. And just keep in mind, final note, and that's your financials, which they come out this week. And we're still trading below the 2020 open for the financials, and they don't seem to be going anywhere. And we even had a nice upgrade in Goldman Sachs today, and it's just kind of stalling out right here on Goldman Sachs. So this thing here should have been running given that upgrade, the upgrade today. So it gives me grave concern that the financials are stalling out here, and we might have some problems. Now, Goldman Sachs, it is trading above the year 2020 open. It's one of the few bank stocks that is actually doing that, but most of them are trading below their year open 2020 open. So keep that in mind. That's it. I don't want to talk anymore. Talk to you later.